Camco. There's a lot of other things. That's why I got that camera infrared, because I want to see. I can't see at night, you know. So, yeah, so keep your camera going, you never know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
all right, well, anyway.
definitely.
This town started about a quarter mile up the road up there. I want to put the sign on the door so because people just keep walking in. So I don't want them to get interrupted. It looks like the town's getting a little less and less. Okay, so it started about a quarter mile up the road up there. There was a town of about 1,000 people up there. It got to be named Youngsburg back in 1940. But back in 1893, it was about 1,000 people up there. Okay, this part of the town is where your miners worked, where your miners lived. They lived in tents all surrounding here. We had 3 saloons, we had 1 brothel, we had 3 cribs, and then we had various other things. So it was about 25 structures here, okay? There was 1 decent woman to every 50 men. 1 decent woman, okay? So there was a lot of men around here.
Yeah.
So the miners worked from sun up to sundown. They made about $3 to $4 a day, and what they didn't spend on their tent and their food, they'd come and join our hurdy-gurdy girls here. Now, a hurdy-gurdy is a little organ that they used to play, and they used to dance to this little organ. Most of these women were contracted from Germany. From Germany. They would be in a troupe, and they would go from town to town, from here to Tombstone to wherever. So, you know, they'd stay a little while, dance, have a good time, and then they'd leave. So, if it wasn't our hurdy-gurdy girls here, it would be our saloon girls. And saloon girls did the same thing. They danced and they had a good time. I think the saloon girls went a little bit further with the prostitution than the hurdy-gurdy girls. But same kind of a thing. They danced, partied in saloons. Okay? Now, if a gentleman wanted something a little bit different and a little bit, he had money, he would talk to the bartender and he'd be introduced to one of these girls up here. These are brothel girls. Okay, now the brothel girls, as you can see, were a lot cleaner, but one thing about the brothel girls, they were literate. They could read and write. Most of the men came here thinking that they were going to make a whole bunch of money in the mines, and they ended up working in the mines, not making a whole bunch of money. So they had to write home to their families. These women could do that. They also could sew a button on your shirt. They also could read you a poem. So they had the soft side to them, and then they had the other side to them. So basically what would happen here, a gentleman would walk in here with a 2-cent coin. Him and Madame, or Madam right there, Miss Martha, he would be given a menu, and on that menu he would decide what he wanted, either the hard side, soft side, hard and soft together. It's just whatever the gentleman wanted. Okay, so that's kind of how it was run up here. All right? Mm-hmm. Now, we did have 3 known cribs below. A crib was basically the women lived among the men down there. She had her name on the door. She had a bed in there, and she had something to wash herself, a wash tub. She would service maybe 50 to 100 men on a payday. Hats were optional. Pants and boots were not optional. So she worked in a lot of volume. Okay, she made about 25 cents to $1 and was run by a pimp. So that's kind of the different layers we had. And then we did have streetwalkers too. Okay? Mm-hmm. And please join the room in there. Take your camera in there. That's supposed to be the highly kind of a haunted room, if you want to say. Okay. You can see the size of brazier there, sir. Most of the women were about 5'5" and weighed over 200 pounds. The madam liked the women big because if they were big, they probably were not diseased. They probably had not contracted syphilis or any other things that the crib girls did and a lot of people had. So she kept them good and healthy. You see there's no windows. You can pan that in because she didn't want any minors coming in here that didn't have any money to pay for their services. Okay? That's kind of what this
was.
That was a toilet.
The toilet,
there was toilets. Now they had money. Wherever you had money, you had toilets.
All right.
Okay? And yeah, that's probably about everything in this room.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And we had 7 below. That's what I was going to say. We had 7 rooms below.
7 rooms below.
It's a hat shop now, but it would be just similar to that room now. Okay, this is our Madame's room. This would be her beautiful room right here. She did allow the miners to come in and have a bath there, but
this is cool.
You know, that's pretty much all they could afford in here. She did have a special lady that she would be training to do her job because the madam's goal was always to go out there and get a ranch somewhere and get out of this business. So she always had somebody learning her job. Miners wore their clothes till they fell off. So I believe that's probably when they came in and got a bath. That is a copper bathtub right out of our mines. They believed back in 1893 that copper would kill any kind of disease, and they were right. Copper is antibacterial. So they were right. So the first miner of the day would come in. The children of the house would fill this up with hot water. He would jump in, and as the miners kept coming in, the water would get cheaper and cheaper till about 10 to 15 miners had a bath.
Same water.
Same water.
Oh.
Yep, just add a little hot water to it. Until it was so disgusting, I'm sure, that they couldn't do anymore, so the children would throw it out the window, and that's why we seem to think that the cowboys have brims on the side of their hats, because you never knew what they were throwing down the window besides the tree was going down too. So just something we figured, you know. Anyway, a little X-rated stuff is okay?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, this is our Peter Pan jar. Every woman had one of those in her room, and when that man was going to do that special service, she would basically put alcohol and water in that, unbeknownst to the gentleman. And when they were ready to do it, she would wash him down with that. And if he started to scream and holler, he would be escorted out and not get his money back. Women became experts at looking at different sores, diseases,
For
and
diseases,
whatnot.
of course, yeah.
I wonder how many bodies they're going to pull out of that thing today. Every time they get at that thing out there, they're pulling bodies out of it.
Oh, yeah?
There's a graveyard down there. So the whole place is a graveyard. Every time they dig something, they can find bodies. So the women would use copper or another type of a coin for contraception. Another jar would be put in their room, and when the jar was full, the madam would get all the jars together, and she would get in her carriage and take it up to the town up there, and that's what we call dirty money. Okay, so let me tell you about a shot glass. This wouldn't happen up here, but it would happen in one of your saloons across the street up there. Gentleman miner would walk in. I don't have any money. I spent it all with the girls. Okay, what do you got? My bullets. So the bartender would line it up there, and he'd probably get his cheapest whiskey that he had down there, or watered down whiskey. He'd line it up to here and line it up to here. Give him 2 cents for this bullet, 5 cents for this bullet. And if he wasn't in need of this for his 45, he'd sell this for about 10 to 12 cents. So that's for a shot for a bullet. That's where shot glass comes from. From the Western days, that is.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So anyway, any questions?
No, this was
Please look
very
around.
interesting.
We got some stuff from Tombstone. These are original badges from Tombstone. So
Oh, really?
your camera would like that. I like to think Wyatt Earp wore that. We have some for sale here. Here's some dirty stamps here. Not so much coins, not so much from our brothel, but if you read some of them, that's different brothels they did the coin thing. Like I said, you walk up with a 2 cent coin, and that's how they get it. Anyway, when you leave, please give Miss Martha a hug, and you want to tip your floozy, that's fine. Sign our guest book, and thank you. And please keep going around with it. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed that.
Thank you.
Great day.
You too.
You. Remember to take a picture of it up.
I got. Well, that was really cool. That was a cool tour here of the old brothel. Very nice. I forgot the drone, but this is a pretty good aerial view here.
If you have enjoyed traveling with us, make sure you are subscribed and check out my other videos. Also, share it with your friends, spread the word, and leave me a comment. Now, if you really liked it, you have a chance to show your support at patreon.com/travelingrobert. As always, thank you so much for watching, and see you on the road.